Man, welcome back to the latest episode of 123 CABO, man. The Philadelphia Eagles edition. It's your boy Zeke, man. Fat Boy Season. I'm here with a very special guest, man. Let the people know who you are.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Julius Cherry. You can follow me on Instagram at JAY Clouds. How y'all doing? I'm from Augusta, Georgia. I went to Tuskegee University.
Yes,
Excuse me, the illustrious Tuskegee University,
yes,
where I got my degree in mechanical engineering.
yes, sir. Man, you already
Yes,
know, man.
sir.
Tuskegee University, the Tuskegee University, the illustrious Tuskegee University, where probably like 80% of my guests are from there. So, hey, it's all love, though, man. So, Philadelphia Eagles fan. Um, I know a couple. I know a few Eagles fans, not as scarce as like a Browns fan or a Lions fan, but it's not quite a Cowboys or a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. So, for you, how did you become a fan?
I became an Eagles fan, man, back when I think it was Madden '06 that Donovan McNabb. No, I know it was Madden '06. Donovan McNabb was on the cover of, because in '05 is when they went to the Super Bowl and lost to the Patriots. So
Mm-hmm.
when I got Madden '06, and I didn't have I didn't have an Xbox or a PlayStation. I had a GameCube, bro.
Oh
So
wow.
this is my first football game. Hey, the person on the cover is wearing the Eagles jersey, so that's who I'm rocking with. So I get to
Oh
playing
shoot.
with the Eagles. I get to start watching them play in real life, and then I start falling in love with like Brian Westbrook because I was a smaller kid growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Wanting to play football. You expect to be a big like 7 foot type dude. But seeing Brian Westbrook come out the backfield as small as he was and be able to make moves, like it made me fall in love with him as a running back in the position of running back. And after that, it just grew into T.O. just having that, man,
Oh
just the character, bro.
yeah,
He's just the character, the
yeah.
confidence, the moxie that he brings to the game, everything that he brings to the field, the work, the effort, man. I just fell in love with the chemistry those three guys kind of had sometimes.
Sometimes, for
Sometimes.
sure, for sure. I
Yeah.
wanna, I wanna say, the year that McNabb was on the cover was like the first year that they had the new PlayStation and the new Xbox, but it was like very scarce, so like nobody had them. But I think it
Oh,
was the
wow.
PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 had like just come out because I remember we kept trying to get one, and they had like back when they used to have the demos set up, you could play it, and
Yeah.
the demo
Yeah.
was always the Philly versus the Patriots. But now that I remember, so like yeah, that was that first year, and yeah, I feel like To doesn't really get the respect he deserves. Just from like if you look statistically, he's like the second or third in pretty much the top three catches, yards, and touchdowns. And like he never really had like a truly elite quarterback. He had some good quarterbacks. I guess maybe he had Steve Young at the end of his career, but he was like super
Yeah.
young. But like other than that, he never really played with a really elite quarterback. But the numbers stayed the same. Even when he got older, he was still productive. Like he outproduced Ocho Cinco in Cincinnati, and when he went to Buffalo, he still was highly productive. Man, I don't think he gets enough love.
I think it's the fact that T.O. was ahead of his time as far as like now is a time where you can recognize that you're good at something and everybody be like, yeah, you're good at something. You could say that. But back then it was like if you're good at something, you also have to be humble about it too. And since
Facts.
T.O. didn't have that, I feel like a lot of people have resentment and hold that against him. Like, but if you just like you said, man, if you just look at the stats, he is who he is. Like,
Oh yeah,
man's a
elite,
baller.
elite of elite. Because I feel like because Moss always gets the recognition. And then part of it just because the physical attributes, him being super fast, jump higher than anybody, and being a
Yeah,
physical freak in that nature. But To in his own right was a physical specimen as well.
bro,
But
nobody could outrun a route. He could outrun anybody on any route, bro.
he
T.O. is
definitely
not
had
playing. He's
his
routing
speed. Definitely was
everybody else.
underrated. His speed was definitely underrated. I think
Oh
because
my goodness,
man, like second gear game speed
man.
wasn't as many as good as him, man. But moving into the Eagles, man. I think you guys overachieved this year, 9-8, wild card berth. because a lot of people doubted you, especially after the start to the season started kind of slow.
Yeah,
Then your coach came out with the whole flower growing rose uh, simile or whatever you want to call it, metaphor, and people were kind of confused about it. But like right after that, they started going on a run. Why you think things turned
yeah,
around?
bro. I mean, we used our fertilizer, bro. We used our fertilizer. Things started hitting better in practice. I feel like everybody is young on this team. And I think the whole purpose of this season, the whole goal of the season, from my perspective, was to give the young guys a real opportunity to see what it's like to play together
Mm.
instead of just kind of having, like, Philadelphia, but not the football team. You know how when they got all their young cats together for the Sixers,
Oh, the
and they just kept
process.
on, oh, they're hurt and rest. But it seemed like Philly was like, no, 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 let's get all our young guys out there right now, and
Mm.
let's see what the best that they could come up with. So, what the I feel like what the GM and everybody tried to do is fill in the blanks with maybe not marquee, top of the line, premier players,
Yeah.
because they want to see how the young guys are going to fit together, but
Mm.
not like bottom of the line guys just to get by. Like they wanted to give everybody an opportunity to show how they would play. And then I think this offseason, not to skip ahead, we're going to try to go and get some key pieces that can fill in those gaps after we see what can, fit those guys better now.
Absolutely, man. I'm definitely an advocate for playing the young guys, especially like quarterbacks. You know, they'd be like, "Should we sit them?" and all this other stuff. Like you saw the
Yeah,
situation with
nah, get them
Justin.
out there, bro.
You saw the situation with like Justin Fields, where like they didn't want to start him, but then like when he started a little shaky as you would think, but then he got a little bit better. Then he got a little bit better. Like it's very few situations where sitting the quarterback has really worked. Although like the Mahomes, he sat for a year and Rogers sat for a few years, but they had like decent situations. Like you had Favre and then Alex
Yeah,
Smith was actually playing pretty good. So you didn't really, worry about that so much. But yeah, y'all had a lot of young guys, especially wide receiving core, running backs, and then obviously Jalen Hurts. Uh, how do you feel about him growing, as he grew throughout the season?
ah, I like Jalen because first off, roll tide. Come on, Jalen's Jalen.
Right.
And if anybody has anything to say about roll tide, you know where to find me at. But I like the way that he finds a way to maneuver out of a lot of sticky situations. I like that he's able to kind of function out of the pocket, and also he's able to get the ball down the field if he needs to, even when he's out of the pocket. Um, what I want to see more next year, I want to see a playbook more committed to Jalen Hurts. I feel like we still have a I feel like we have a playbook geared towards him, but I don't feel like we made a playbook like we're sold like this is our next quarterback for the next 10 years. Like we're gonna change everything and make the system fit him because he's our guy. And I'd like to see the team go ahead and make a sellout, even if they don't feel like he's the best quarterback for the team. It's like when you're not setting yourself up like that, you're kind of holding that quarterback back from what he can do because you're still not really, building for him. You're just still building a generally good team.
I agree with that. I feel like coming into the season, the Eagles were kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out on Jalen. Because, like, yeah, they traded Wentz, but it was like, well, he's a second round pick. Do we really think he's the guy? And, he played a little
Yeah,
bit last year. And, it was up and down, but he kind of galvanized y'all a little bit. You could see it. And then that whole, like, end of the season took him out for old buddy in that last game
yeah,
and things like that. But I do agree that, like, um, they do need to do a better job of kind of tailoring it to him. And I think they started moving that way when you guys started playing better, because start running the ball a lot more and use his legs, man. He's an athlete. He's strong, he's fast, he's all of that. I think you guys were bottom half in passing, but number one in rushing. So like obviously you guys run well. So yeah, I think if they can continue to, get him some weapons and like you said, kind of build around him and be like, hey man, you're our guy. We're going to invest in you, because I think the really good teams, the really good coaches, they change their schemes and situations based on your quarterback and based on the players that you have, man. I feel like you got to be successful.
And that's not to say that Jalen doesn't have great weapons. You know, you got Smith and you got Quez Watkins out on the outside, and I think both of those guys are great. I mean, both have flaws in certain places as well, but like those are solid pieces. I think we just need to start drawing up plays. Like, look how the 49ers use Deebo Samuel, right? I mean, we have pieces who are just as athletically skilled and could probably do similar things. I'm not saying they're going to be just as great as Debo, but you know, could probably fit in similar roles. But you know, you got to figure out a way to get the ball in their hands, even if you're not throwing the ball 50 yards down the field. It doesn't have to be the conventional methods of football, you know.
Right.
And that's what I think we need to start gearing a. Either we need to gear a playbook for, or get an offensive coordinator who has that type of mindset.
Facts. My favorite play callers are Shanahan because of the Debo, and like he pulled Trent Williams from the freaking wing, which was crazy. Um, Sean McVay because the way that Cooper Cup seems to be always open, and Lafleur, Lafleur because the way that they always scheme it up for Devontae Adams, and you know
Yeah.
being a Browns fan and seeing how we didn't get Odell the ball, like seeing the way that they get creative to get their best players the ball. I feel like that's kind of like who teams should strive to be.
No, I feel like y'all gave everybody the ball fairly on the Browns, bro. I think y'all distributed the ball well.
Yeah, to the other team. Anyway, moving on, man. You guys got some upcoming free agents. Jason Kelsey, who I believe is he retiring or is he just leaving? Because I know they had the whole like.
Nah, to me it seems like he's talking about retiring. And coaches are trying to convince him really hard to stay on. I would like to see him to stay another season. I'd like to see us to pick up a young center in the draft, or to pick up a early career center and let him, you know, kind of work really hard with him on things on how to work with Jalen, because he's already been back. He's been through several quarterbacks. He's dealt with several not rushing, but, you know, quarterbacks who like to move around in the backfield since he's playing with Philadelphia, you know.
Yeah.
I think did he play a little bit with Vic?
I would think so.
I think
he's been in the league for a while.
He's been there since 2011. Like
they got
2011 or 2014 one. But yeah. Anywho, but like somebody who he could kind of, I know it's not going to be like a quick hand of a baton, but you know, you could kind of help pass over like, hey, this is how you got to work when you're playing with us.
Yeah.
And maybe we can be in a really good situation for next season. So I hope they can convince him to stay on, but I'm not sure which way that's going right now.
Absolutely. Then I got a few more players: Rodney McLeod, Anthony Harris, the safety, Derek Barnett, Steven Nelson, another corner, Ryan Kerrigan, Boston Scott, Greg Ward, are some of your big name free agents. Who from that bunch would you like to see back?
Jordan Howard and Boston Scott are probably the two that I care about the most. The safeties, they didn't really, you know, do anything too particular to me to make me go, oh my God. You see how we did defensively when it came to passing. Mm-hmm. People were slicing and dicing, man. It was like, we're playing Philadelphia, air it out.
Air it out. Yeah, run defense top 10. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But that's why I'm not too keen on the safeties that we got back there. But I feel like Juwan Howard and Byron Scott, they're both really good players. They probably could go somewhere else and produce a lot. But I don't think other teams are going to give them the money that they're looking for in free agency. So I think they both end up back in Philadelphia.
You just turned them into basketball players real quick. My boy said Byron Scott.
What I say?
Byron
shit!
Scott
I'm fucking my bad.
Juwan Howard. My boy went to the Fab Five.
Boston Scott and Jordan Howard. My bad.
But facts though, I think I like Boston Scott just fits, man. Like whenever he's a baller, bro. He every time he plays, he produces. Put him in the game.
It's just
spelling somebody or starting.
It's just we got so many good backs. His touches is like, I know he wants more touches, but I'm like, man, just one more season, bro. Somebody might get hurt. It might be your year, man. You know, we might start being able to flip backs out every other play. You never know, bro. Man, just stick around.
That's facts, man. Because I feel like, man, Miles Sanders has all the talent in the world, but like
Man,
injuries, and then just like for whatever reason, I don't know if
fatigue.
y'all not using them right, or like I don't know, like it just doesn't click all the way.
I feel like we have great pieces, and this is like for any team like that has great players, but you have to have the right offensive scheme for them.
Facts.
We're, I think our team is still trying to play a little bit of traditional football, and I don't think our team should play any type of traditional offensive football. I think we should just go out there and just, backyard. Hey, you do the
Yeah.
flea flicker. I'm gonna throw it to you off to the side. Like we really need to get some unconventional play types because
Oh yeah.
we just got a whole lot of athletes. We got a
Yes.
lot of athletes out there,
Y'all got a
man. A
lot of
lot of guys who can make a man miss. We
yeah.
got a lot of guys with speed. You got a quarterback who has an arm. Like it's a lot you can do with these pieces. But
Man.
if you try to play traditional Patrick Mahomes football, not knocking Patrick Mahomes at all, he's a great guy. But if you try to play the football that's not our style, it's just not going to work out.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%, man. Quez Watkins got to be one of the fastest guys in the league. Burners.
Man,
And then, like you said, you got 2, 3 running backs, bro. You got to figure out a way to get them on the field at the same time. Let's run some motions, some screens, some jet sweeps. Like I got a lot of moving people. I think Devontae Smith's going to be really good. He's
man,
really good already. I think he has all the talent in the world. So
man. And then the connection
yeah,
him and Jalen have from Alabama still is,
it's still strong.
a great feature to have. A great
Oh yeah,
feature to have. Quez
thanks.
Watkins, I think he's actually from the Ville,
Mhm.
from Huntsville. That's so I like him a lot too. Seeing his career kind of come up is just awesome too.
Oh
Like
yeah.
like you said, man, we got a great young core. We got a lot of draft picks, like a lot of opportunity to get even better this year. So it's like we saw how our young pieces fit together, and hopefully we can fill in some gaps.
For sure. For sure. I got some team needs. Edge rusher. Brandon Graham, did he get hurt? Or I know he's getting up there in age. But safety, we just kind of talked about that. Center, we talked about that.
Yeah,
Wide receiver. I think you guys could use like a big, like I don't know if I want to say a true number one, but maybe like a bigger, more possession type receiver. Because you got some guys with some burners. So maybe you need one of those. Linebacker and maybe another defensive tackle. So some free agent targets. JPP is a free agent. Him and all six and
yeah,
a half of his fingers.
yeah. I
Emmanuel
don't want
Ogba
that.
from Miami. Mike Williams, I think could potentially be a good one. He's a big body. He's like 6'5". If he could play a full season like at his optimal level, he'd be good.
Yeah.
And I'm hesitant on Allen Robinson because of last year, but a big body can go get it.
Hey, there
So,
she go.
can't see you. Got put your hand right there. There you go.
Wait, that was good.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you couldn't see it because you weren't in the camera. I don't have no background. I see you in
She's
a few
having
minutes.
way too much fun right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
See you in a few minutes. All right. Go get the iPad. But yeah. So Allen Robinson's kind of like because he had such a down season. But if he can play relatively close to the way that he's played, I think he could be a good pickup for you guys.
yeah. For me, I actually agree with you on the needing a true number one. I think if we are going to continue to play the traditional football that we were talking about, if we're not going to go off the script, we should get a traditional number one, and that would, I think, balance us off enough offensively to where you have to respect him.
Mm-hmm.
And since you're respecting the number one so much, we got two like little number ones sitting off to the side that are just going to
Right.
eat you up all game. Once you
Right.
start sitting back and worrying about those guys, you have four running backs. Four. That means we have one for each quarter that could just work you all game long if we wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Like they're all interchangeable. In my opinion, I think they're all interchangeable like that in the backfield. So it gets really dangerous on when you see a Philadelphia offense with a true number one that you're having to put one over the top on because you can't single coverage
Mm-mm.
Smith and you don't want to single coverage Quez often.
Yeah, man. I think it's just important, or I feel like it's been shown to be very important to get your young quarterback that number one. Kind of how I elevated to Josh Allen. How we kind of talk about Lamar really needs a true number one, or a bigger body number one that can be, go get those contested catches. So you don't have to be perfect so much. Um,
Yeah.
I think
I
that could
mean, but
definitely
that's an
help him.
excuse because I mean, look at Joe Burrow. Because I'm just playing. Look at Joe in the Natty, man. That boy's
Man,
crazy.
they
Ooh.
built that roster so great as far as like weapons wise. They got with Mixon like 3 or 4 years ago, and then I think Tyler Boyd around that same time, and then T
Yep.
Higgins last. And then what? T Higgins and Joe Burrow last year, and then it's like let's get Chase to finish
Let's
this
get
thing.
changed.
Let's just get
Let's
Chase. But
go to
like
the Super Bowl.
I was against the Chase thing. I was like, man, get the lineman. But
Hold on.
there
Excuse
can
me. Hold on. You skipped one person. McPherson. Okay, they went and got McPherson out the
hey,
draft. Okay.
McPherson, bro. Hey, I don't know how I feel about drafting kickers, but if you're gonna be that good, it's worth it, bro. It's worth it, bro.
You
Because
might as well.
kickers, man. Kickers are. I've argued with people before about how important kickers are, and usually you don't understand unless your team doesn't have a kicker. Then you be like, man, it's so great if you got like a Justin Tucker or a McPherson or one of these
Man,
guys. That's automatic,
I was
man.
blessed with great kickers, but I like the way that kid, like, dude said, well, looks like we're going to the AFC Championship and went out there and
Man,
kicked the field goal. Bro, what?
confidence, bro. Confidence. That's what you
Like, with
want,
a
man.
smile. Like, from how far he was at, how far was it? Was it like 40 something? It wasn't like no like chip
It
in
wasn't a
kick. It
chip
was
shot. It was like 40
it was
something.
a
Yeah.
kick.
It was a
Yeah.
kick. Yeah, man. It's and then like that kind of goes through the whole team, like with Joe, with McPherson, with Eli Apple, as bad as he is at times. Like that whole team is just like, man, hey,
Nah. Yeah.
we we them dudes. We gonna do it, but they built their roster, those skilled players about as good as you can do it, man. Because they really ain't missed for real, for real.
Speaking of
Unless
Eli Apple, have you ever like looked up, gone to look up his highlight tape and like the first thing that pops up is Eli Apple getting burned? And then like after that, Eli Apple highlights. For
man,
real, if you go on YouTube and type in Eli Apple, the first thing will show up is getting burned. And it's like a 10-minute video of Eli Apple just
I've never
getting
looked at it, but
destroyed.
every Giants fan I know, every Saints fan I know is like, bro, he's trash. He's straight garbage. But yeah, if that's the first thing popping up, it's all bad. But people can get better. Not him, but like AJ
Yeah, I was about to
Terrell.
say.
AJ
Yeah.
Terrell from Atlanta. Because like I think the first thing that pops up is the national championship, and it's just a bunch of Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson all game just torching them. And like he played really good this season though. So, maybe depending on who you are, you can get a little bit better in that situation. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I think yeah, definitely, like I said, that true number one. And then if Jalen Hurts continues to develop, the offense is scary because the run game is already
Man.
elite. The run game is elite. You get that passing game working, like you get that passing game to like top 15-ish. Whew, that thing is scary, man. So we got
Man.
some draft targets. You guys got 3 first-round draft picks, and that's another thing. Like at the beginning of the year, the first half of the year, those picks was looking like pick 5, 6, and 7 at one point,
Yeah.
and then y'all turned the season around, and well y'all did, and then I guess the Colts picked too. But so y'all got a lot of picks, man. So I think Mel Kiper got you guys getting Devin Lloyd. It's a linebacker out of Utah. Haven't seen much about him. The defensive end, Arnold Ibikite. Don't know if that's right. From Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
But Penn State, they're known to have great edge rushers. And
Right.
then Chris Olave, the wide receiver from Ohio State. There's a lot of good wide receivers in this draft too. But then potentially you guys could, use that to trade and get you a number one receiver. Calvin Ridley is available. Michael Thomas is available. And there's a few other wide receivers that you guys could, go after. So, I mean, from a
Right.
draft perspective, is there anybody that you really want or potential receiver or another position that you would like you guys to trade for?
If I could get MT, I would go for it instantaneously. I have reservations on Calvin Ridley. I don't really know if he's gonna play football or not.
No.
But if he's gonna play football, I'm not sold on Calvin Ridley as a elite number one. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like a lot of times people understate how much Julio opened doors for Calvin Ridley to, start off his career. Like when you got six people watching Julio Jones, yes, somebody else can catch the ball. It happens. I could catch the ball if Julio Jones is on the other side of the field.
Right.
But not taken away from Calvin Ridley, great player, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Facts.
But
Facts.
I'm more sold on MT as a one for me. But as far as out the draft, I've never really agreed with Philadelphia's philosophy in the draft. When I feel like we should have got Johnny Manziel out the draft a long time ago, we could have straightened him out in Philadelphia. We could have been making. Come on, man, we could have been making money, but no. But anywho, that's neither here nor there. But I don't really like the fact that we're focusing on our defensive end and our linebackers. I'd really like us to focus on our secondary. I'd really like us to start building up a young secondary. We already have a lot of guys who are going out of contract, and I'd rather us spend the money on that big fish on the wide receiver rather than us spending the money in the secondary. I'd rather us grow up our secondary because we already, like you said, we already have a good run defense, right? So why would we focus on, rushers and things of that nature? I'm not really trying to get in the backfield at quarterbacks. I want us to start being able to slap balls down and, D up receivers.
Yeah, because, man, a strong secondary helps that front seven even more. Like,
Exactly.
cover sacks and just making the quarterback hold the ball longer than what he has to. So
Exactly.
I definitely agree with that. That's a really good take. I know, let me see. I think the best corner in the draft, they got Sauce Gardner from Cincinnati, but he's expected to go like 12-ish to Minnesota. But if he drops, well, my thing is I think he would never make it past Baltimore at 13. I think because Baltimore, they just great at drafting. It just seems like, and I feel like he fits Baltimore. But y'all have picks, so if y'all want to maneuver up and down, and I'm sure there's some other good DBs in this draft as well.
Right.
So I could definitely see you guys going that direction. And and this, like, if you can pick up an established wide receiver, that'd be really good. Because, like you said, y'all kind of missed a lot in the wide receiver department as far as like DK and Justin Jefferson and just kind of picking the wrong guy, which I understand that as a Browns fan. So,
like I said, I don't often agree with Philadelphia's draft philosophy. I feel like we focus on the weirdest of things at the weirdest of times, and I'm like, wow, all right, well, that's what we're gonna do. That's my team, and I'm gonna stick with them. I'm gonna stick beside him.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the Jalen Reagor thing was y'all was looking at maybe probably his 40 time because I think he was one of the fastest receivers coming out. It's like, all right, yeah, let's get him. But then I think the next pick was Justin Jefferson. And it's like, like hindsight, you're like, okay, that was horrible. A horrible situation.
I think they probably saw that, and the reason why they picked it up is what was the last famous wide receiver from Philadelphia, Deshaun Jackson, right? Mm-hmm. Like that was our last real big GOAT. And what was Deshaun's big thing? Not height, not his hands, not his big jumps. Still his what he's known for, just off the line, just killing people, a slot receiver who could kill you, and he could line up as the X and kill you. Like, so they probably saw that 40 and was like, Deshaun, but that's not the league that we live in anymore. We're in the league of Odell Beckham now, bro. If you're not catching the one hand, then I don't need you.
Thanks. Yeah, man. I don't. Sometimes I never really understood. I feel like, man, with drafting, you got to find that fine balance between production and the measurables. Because sometimes, bro, you just got to be able to play ball. Because like you can be the fastest dude in the world, your 40 time can be fast, but your game speed looks a lot different. Like
exactly.
the Browns got a guy who ran a 4.2 from Auburn, Anthony Schwartz. He doesn't look 4.2 on the field. So like because
what if somebody jam you off the line, bro? You know what I'm saying? What you got to start back up? It's going to take you another 3 seconds to get up. Like
facts. And then you got Tyreek Hill, who's like literally running away from people. Like that the ball he caught versus the Bills, he started with a hand on his shoulder, And then he finished. It just got further and further and further and further apart. And then he's chucking the deuces 5 yards behind the player.
Bro, I was like, oh my goodness.
Different.
I was looking, I didn't even jump up and down. Like when he was scoring, I just
shock.
And then the man jumped out and reached for him. And I was just thinking, you know, have you ever thought about the fact that these men have children, bro? They be watching the games. They are at the games and they just
bruh. That's one of those
Come
things,
on, man.
Like you can't even do that. You just that's one you just shake his hand at the end and be like, man, hey, you fast. I can't. You're really good. You're really good at football.
You're really good at this.
You're really good at this, man. So yeah, man. I think but yeah, so like I said, with the wide receiver spot, like Mike T would fit really good. Like he's different body type, a different type of receiver than what you guys got. Like you said, you got a couple burners, some guys that can really route you up down the field. Mike T takes care of all the intermediate short stuff. And you know, even though he hasn't played in a while, but I would like to see him
I still think he's gonna have it. I think he's still gonna have it. I think a lot of receivers I haven't seen a lot of receivers lately come back from injuries and look like they're missing a step. Most of them have come back looking solid, just like, you know, themselves. Yeah, even though the Titans rest Julio.
Man, Julio's been a cheerleader all season. Hey, he be out there like, man, AJ Brown's a good receiver, ain't he? Like he just on the sideline. He be like AJ Brown is cold.
He be like that boy going to the league.
Man, I was like it was surprising how bad Julio was this year. Like, I okay, he's hurt. I understand when he's hurt, but like when he was on the field, he wasn't really that great. He wasn't that great at all. But
I'm missing him.
Whew, yeah, man, Julio, bro, that's an error, man. Julio, AB still got it, but you know, AB do some AB things.
He just don't got it. He got it, but he don't got it.
He don't got that. That man different. That man different.
Yeah, he different, bro. He knows what he's doing, but it's just like, man, it's like you gotta pick your battles in life, bro. Like, you know, sometimes you're gonna take some L's to win, take some dubs. I feel like that's what I mean, but at the same time, he's a grown man. He made his decisions, bro. I support him in whatever he does.
Yeah, he explained it fairly decent on the I Am Athlete podcast. He just was like, man, it's kind of like where you from? Like, what type of, how do you respond in situations? Like, this is how we grew up. When we grew up, we responded the way that we responded. This is how I felt. You might feel differently or respond differently because, you know, how you were brought up and how you were raised.
Right.
This is how we do it. So, hey, more to you. More power to you.
Right. Hey, man.
But one of my favorite questions I like to ask is, what does a perfect and realistic offseason look like to you for Philly?
A perfect, realistic offseason. I feel like we can go get I can't remember buddy's name, but that corner from Cincinnati. I feel like we could go up in the draft with two of our picks and go grab him and go after Mike with the other two. I feel like there's that opportunity to be able to go grab both of those things, but I don't feel like our coaches are looking at that. I do still think that our coaches will pick up a receiver. I would like to see us to get a more mobile linebacker. At least that'll help out with coverage a little bit. Maybe not the defensive end that they're trying to go after the draft. And definitely, I don't want to see them pick up a young wide receiver. As long as they don't pick up, because we have enough. Yeah. We have enough talent to develop, and it's not like, are they going to be good? No, these kids are going to be good. Or not kids. They're going to be good, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're obviously going to be great players in the league. So we can develop what we have. We don't need to go looking for more talent. We need to get that staple piece, go ahead and just start sealing the deal.
Facts, yeah. I agree with that for sure. Yeah, like athletic linebackers, man. I love the new wave of linebackers, the Darius Leonards, Fred Warners, those guys that are just sideline to sideline, cover, can rush, Devin White. Levante David, like those definitely are game changers on the defensive end.
What's Buddy's name from Dallas, man? And as an Eagles fan, I shouldn't
Micah
be a fan of him.
Micah Parsons.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Micah Parsons, bro. I watched the Hard Knocks on HBO, bro. Fell in love with a few of the Cowboys. I fell in love with Micah Parsons, and I fell in love again with my boy from Bama, the corner,
Javon Diggs.
Diggs. Yeah, bro.
Diggs.
Yeah, man. It was good seeing them on. It was just I just like they vibe, bro. The type of players they are, and then seeing them game day and like they the same person on the field.
I'm finished. Absolutely, man. I think those guys are definitely special. Micah Parsons, freak of nature.
Man, the kid goes. They coach. Well, I'm sure you've seen it too. When they go and like they'll tell him like, "Hey, you need to do X, Y, Z, P, Q, and R." Goes onto the field, immediately executes. It's no like, oh, I'll get it next play. No, I'll get all three of those steps right now. Let's go.
Facts. He's like, and then like him being able to rush, being able to cover, being able to hit. And then they just did the Pro Bowl fastest man challenge, which obviously Tyreek Hill wasn't running hard, but I think Chubb's pretty fast, especially when he gets to moving. And he beat everybody. So
yeah,
definitely a freak of nature, man.
I need to go watch that. I didn't see that.
Watch out. Yeah.
We'll
do that later, okay?
I do like to watch the Pro Bowl mini games. I don't like to watch the Pro Bowl itself, but I do like the mini games. They're a lot of fun. I need to go watch those.
This one was pretty good. They did a dodgeball like they've been doing the last few years. They did a best catch contest, kind of like Harper. They did a best catch contest, kind of like a slam dunk contest, which was pretty cool. And then they got like one where it's an accuracy challenge. So like they have two walls. They have an AFC DB and an NFC DB, and then the quarterback tries to fit the ball into the little window, which was pretty cool.
Okay. Okay, I got you. Okay,
yeah,
I see what you mean.
Yeah, because like they had Trevon Diggs on one side and then maybe Denzel Ward on the other side. And actually it's pretty fire. So they're getting better with those because it had been kind of trash for a while. But yeah, so okay. We said perfect offseason, you get your receiver, potentially upgrade at linebacker. And then definitely you said also maybe get a Sauce Gardner from Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So if you guys execute those things, what is your 2020 projection for the Eagles?
All right, so there's no way we don't go back to the playoffs again.
Okay.
Like we're definitely back in the playoffs. At that point, it's really about the gel. You know, is Michael Thomas gonna walk in? If we get Michael Thomas, is he gonna walk in our locker room and just be like, I'm here to love, you know, we all gonna, you know, we gonna just stick it through, or is it gonna be like the superstar, like I need the ball, me type stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are we gonna get out of that? And I don't know the type of guy he is. I'm not making any predictions or projections on that. But is he just gonna come in and gel with the offense? Is the play selection gonna be able to gel with him? Are we gonna be able to get the ball to him, Devontae and Quez, enough to make everybody want to stay and be happy? You know what I mean? And are we still going to be able to get the running backs the touches that they deserve? Because, you know, they deserve them.
Nice.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's all about how is it all going to fit together? Do we figure out how to make it work, you know? And maybe there's a window in there where we do throw in more plays where we just get players like Devontae and Quez the ball out of the backfield. And those trick plays lead to Quez throwing it back across the field to Jalen, and Mike is all the way down the field on the go. Like, you know, crazy stuff like that. Like,
right. Get creative.
Yeah, you know, are we going to get creative with the pieces that we have? And that's what I'd like to see. Or are we just going to try a tried and true offense and just hope it works out? And that might work too. It might. Right. I don't know. I'm not an NFL coach.
For sure. So if you had to put a total number of wins, how many do you get next year?
We got 9 this year. You know, I ain't going to go crazy. Just go like, 10, 11,
10, 11. Okay. Is that,
10, 11.
Would that be enough to win the NFC East?
If Dallas keeps on Dallas, and yeah, yes, Dallas doesn't like winning football. So I mean, the NFC East is just whoever. Hey, you here today? You want? Go ahead. You can have it. NFC East, it's yours. So if Dallas keeps on Dallasing, yeah, I think so.
Fact. I do think y'all are the biggest competition to them just because your young team getting better. With the draft picks, you got opportunity to go a bunch of different ways. Like you said, you can trade them, you can keep them and make some picks. As long as those picks turns out, you're pretty good in a good situation. And the Cowboys will cowboy, every once in a while, or really pretty much every year. At some point, just is it going to be in the playoffs or not in the playoffs? So I agree with that. I can see y'all getting a solid 10 wins for sure. I think y'all probably won't get swept by Dallas this year.
No, I don't see that happening again.
I don't see that happening, but I still no belief in the Giants. Washington, it depends on what they do at quarterback. But
they're still figuring out their name.
Yeah, man.
They're still working on. They got bigger fish to fry than football right now.
Their name is horrible, bro. They're the Commanders.
They're the Commanders. What does that even mean,
bro?
Who are you commanding?
I don't know.
What is the mascot? It's still a W. That's the problem. Like, what? You should have just stayed the football team at that point.
The football team actually was better.
That was kind of hard.
It's harder. It's way harder, man.
It's harder than the Commanders.
100%, man. But we're gonna close this thing out, man. It's your boy Zeke. Catch me on IG, Fatboy Season. Catch me on Twitter, Fatboy Season 8. Catch me on TikTok, Fatboy Season 1. They keep taking down my videos. I've been appealing. I won one case. Hey,
there we go.
We got more. We got like 3 or 4 more. One video was going kind of crazy too. And they decided to take it down, but it's all right, man. Let the people know where they can find you.
Yes, sir, man. My name is Julius, man. You can catch me on IG at JAY Clouds. Happy Black History Month. You know what I'm saying? We got the Obama inauguration sweater on. We got the White Sox hat for Obama. You know, he's from Chicago. You already know what it is. Happy Black History Month. Y'all stay black.
Yes, sir, man. And this has just been another episode of 123 CABO, man, the Philadelphia Eagles edition. We appreciate y'all, man. We out.
Yes, sir.